Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Been doing this for a long time, over 22 years. Before this, I was a divorce mediator. I have seen it all. I want to help you. Here's the topic. The topic is this: what to do if your husband is in love with another woman, but you want to save your marriage. First, let me tell you that it's highly likely that you can't. Unless your husband has already moved out and he's moved in with this other woman and you have lost all communication, in which case this is not the video for you. I am sorry, deeply sorry that this has happened, but there has to be something that we can work with. If he's still living under the same roof, if you're still communicating all the time, probably you have children, then that helps you as well. Just so you know, my specialty goes back to when I changed over to saving marriages because I was a divorce mediator. So I was able to go get clients for my new occupation from a divorce support group for women. And all of the women who came to me had their marriages not just saved, but completely turned around. And that's because, here's the takeaway that you should have. If you look at marriage differently than what we have been led to believe in the world, you can do this. Because everything we have learned in the world about marriage is pretty much wrong. And there is a lot right from a religious point of view, but our point of view at the Marriage Foundation isn't religious, but it is spiritual. But we don't do the he should have, she should have, and all of that. What I did, because I began this career because one of my clients had asked me to save their marriage instead of end it, to dissolve it. And so I had to study marriage from a different point of view. And I'm telling you right now, the greatest takeaway you should have is this can be done. We will give you the means to do it also. This is not an infomercial. It's important for you. So, number one, decide that your marriage can be saved and he will come back to you. You need to be focused. There's a lot of work for you to do. I'm not going to pretend. There's a lot of work. It's nothing like what you may think it is, because the right way to get your marriage back, to bring your soulmate, let's not call him your husband. Let's put this in deeper terms. He is your soulmate, and he has fallen in love with someone else. We have to be realistic that you did not know how to be married. It isn't your fault. We're just not taught in this world how to be married. If you're a subscriber to this channel, and by all means you should be, then you recognize that I have certain things that I say over and over again. This is one of the big ones. It isn't your fault, but it's not his fault either. We're not taught how to be married. We're not even taught about ourselves, about what we are. There's this quote-unquote confusion about it. Even people who are deeply religious and spiritual, I'm giving you an example here, say things like, of course you have a soul. And again, no religion here. Of course you have a soul. No, you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You see, if you have a soul, who is you? What is you? The mind? I don't know. But when you say, I am a soul, I am created in God's image, I have a body, I have a mind, I have free will, I have found my soulmate, then you have a lot to work with. Enough so that this is going to work out for you. Here's the thing. The work entailed is very positive work. From this point forward, you want everything that you do with your husband to be filled with healing and love. which brings us to point number 2. Number 2, put aside all of your anger, put aside all of the blame that he had no right to do this, how dare he, it's immoral. We know that, but none of us are perfect. Put it aside. Put aside ideas of fairness. Well, this isn't fair. How come he can have an affair and think it's okay? How come he can fall in love with another woman while he's still married to me? Put all that aside. Put aside all feelings of hurt. Feelings of hurt. And again, this goes along with things that we don't really know because we've been mistaught. That hurt is not your soul. It's not your heart. That hurt is an emotion. It's the mind. And what it's really saying is, I need to protect myself from this offender. It is not love when you do that. And you don't want to waste any time on dwelling on what has happened, nor do you want to dwell on what you did or what he did that caused it. You want to get focused on resuscitating your marriage, and actually, because, and we're going to get into this in the third point, you're going to learn how to be married. You're going to learn how to cultivate your love and devotion, and he's going to be attracted to you. Don't forget, the woman with whom he's in love with is a homewrecker. She knows she's standing on shaky ground. And over time, her faults, her ways of being, her being a woman, will eventually give him what he had with you, because none of us have learned how to be married. Point number 3. Again, I stress this is not an infomercial. I'm not trying to sell you on this, but I'm trying to tell you that the way we approach marriage at the Marriage Foundation works, and that is what you need. You cannot learn how to resuscitate, how to convert, how to redo your whole marriage by watching a few YouTube videos. It's just not possible. Even my books, they're tremendously good books. And if you look at the reviews on them, you'll see that. But also if you look at the reviews on the Marriage Foundation's course for women, you'll see the same thing. We definitely have it down. And again, it's because I don't rely on Western psychology. It's very practical. Here's how it works. Number 1, we don't look back. We recognize that we made mistakes. We recognize your husband made mistakes. In fact, he's making one now by loving another woman. I don't doubt his love for her, but I also know that the time you two spent developing your connection as soulmates that led to marriage is much deeper, much broader. You probably even have children. That adds to this. He would rather be with you. But what has happened has been that you let your marriage devolve. You see, when we get married, we're not taught that it is the beginning of what is supposed to be a path up, where every day is supposed to be better. Every day we're supposed to feel more love, but we are not taught that, and we're not taught that we are responsible for cultivating that love, that connection. And so we didn't do it. I was divorced in '96. I didn't know. That's why I became a divorce mediator. I believed in divorce, but it was wrong. I learned that later, and now this will help you. Now, there's that side that we were supposed to have been working on our marriage, working on deepening the connection that we have. And instead, because we didn't know, and we're literally trained how to be married by watching sitcoms and movies and reading novels, and then reading magazine articles and listening to these pop psychologists. And so what we do is we go the other way. We do things that don't work, creating boundaries, using I statements in our communication. And those are not even the worst things. The worst thing is that we don't treat our marriage as a sacred space within which we're supposed to feel fulfilled and loved. What we do instead is we start treating each other the way we treat people who we become. And this is the number one killer of marriages. We become over familiar. We forget that we are not supposed to treat them like just some other person who we know so much about that we can criticize them, we can complain to them, we could frown and snarl at them, we could wake up in the morning, go, and we do all the wrong things. We don't realize, because again, we're not taught. And I'm training now TMF marriage counselors again, but this time not in person because we've gotten big. I'm training them online, and we teach our marriage counselors to understand that our free will is holy. It's wonderful. It's a great gift, and we should use it to discern. We are human beings. We're very special. We are God's children. Again, it's not religious. It's just the truth. He wants us to be happy. He doesn't want us criticizing each other, but we devolve into these behaviors that push on one another, make each other feel terrible. And women can endure more. It's the truth. But men are very sensitive, and we're not taught that. We're taught that men are, Rambos. No. We are protectors. Men are protectors. But we get married, men get married in order to have that heart's love that you, the woman, are connected with, that men are not unless they learn how. So men are really dependent on that, and it's a subconscious, very deep thing. We have this need. And because women are not taught to open their hearts, but to set boundaries, to behave in a certain way, they push their husbands away. You're not the only one. It happens a lot. Most of our clientele have the same problem that you have. We are able to show them the path. They turn their marriages around and they save their marriages. Because every single day we have a choice. And so you need to convert yourself. That's what does it. Not telling him, well, if you come back, da-da-da, I'm sorry, da-da-da. I'm not suggesting that you did something so terribly wrong that he should have done this. He should not have fallen in love with another woman. But because your marriage wasn't the way it's meant to be, you were suffering too. Let's be honest. We got to learn that as a human being, we not only have the potential, we not only have the ability, we almost have the obligation to live in joy every single day. We're not taught this. The world is so messed up. But think about it. You have free will. What do you use it for? And this is what we help you get on the track of a happy marriage with. Yes, you definitely can save your marriage, but it's not enough. I want you, we at the Marriage Foundation, we want you to have an amazing marriage and recognize that what's happening now is the culmination of what took place in the past, caused by you, caused by your husband, but we could start now fresh. And that's how we do it. Can you afford the course? It's not so expensive. It's very affordable. And we've set it up with a plan if you need it. A lot of people don't need it, where you're paying not much money per month to keep going. And it's step by step, and it's supported. We have marriage counselors trained by me, TMF marriage counselors, who will respond to you right away. We're very serious about helping you. We don't take this lightly. We take you and your problem right now very, very seriously. And you know what? The marriage counselors who work for the Marriage Foundation are all volunteers. Why? Because they've gone through what you're going through. Now, I can't tell you the numbers, but many of them had exactly what you're going through. And now they're helping others. That's where we want you to be. Your marriage will be saved if you follow our course. Please do so. I'm going to just remind you of one thing. God wants you to be happy. It's not His plan for us to be miserable, to suffer, but the world is really backwards. Even spirituality, it's often pushed down our throats in the form of religion, and so we miss the most important point. God wants us to be happy. God's our Father. He loves us. I'm not trying to be religious or preach to you. I'm trying to remind you. I know you know that. But you have to do your part. And we'll show you the way, step by step, and it'll work. Okay, now I'm supposed to tell you to like this video, to subscribe to this channel, so please, pardon me for asking you to do so. If you've been following what I've been doing and you want to become a TMF marriage counselor, go to our website, see all the things that we have, and enroll. We want you to help others using our methodologies. Also, peruse our website. There's a lot of free stuff. We even have an Ask a Counselor. It's a free service. You can ask a counselor any question you want, and you're going to get a good answer. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation as a way of serving. Serving you is important to us. God bless you. Thank you. And take care.